What is up, fellow thermonuclear AFers? I am Dan Valley coming at you with a Saturday podcast, apparently, because I am wired from taking caffeine a little bit too late in the day. And I feel like there was stuff to talk about that we caught behind on a little bit with the 3 mailbags we put out. I hope you guys enjoyed those. If you have not, go check them out. And very quickly, and like always, please remember to subscribe to us if you haven't done it already. If this is your first time checking us out, hit sub on YouTube, like, comment if you're already subscribed to help the algorithm maybe love us back a little bit. Also, subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast if you're checking us out for the first time. And cross subs mean a lot. YouTube and the podcast platforms. Recommending us can mean a great deal as well if you've done both of those things. Shouting us out on Twitter, telling friends, family members, enemies, coworkers, random acquaintances on the street about us. Anything you could do to just ensure that the podcast continues to grow. And finally, but not leastly, join our Discord. The link to that is in the podcast and YouTube descriptions. And also follow us on all the socials. TikTok and Twitter are at HardwoodKnocks, and Instagram is at Hardwood_Knocks. It'd be nice to have some more followers on those, since I have been putting an effort to put original content, polls, and stuff up on all of those platforms. Let's go into the Lakers, who there was some news in Lakerland because this team is a speculation factory first and then a basketball team second at the moment. Multiple sources told The Athletic that the Lakers are weighing 3 different paths to noticeably improving their roster. They are: path 1, trade Russ plus a pick or two for a star or multiplayer haul. Path 2, trade some combination of Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and picks, 1 first and or multiple seconds, for role players who better address needs and upgrade the rotation. And then there's path 3, which is doing both of those, where it's trade 1 first-round pick with Westbrook, and then another first-round pick using Beverly or Nunn. I don't really know I think the all-in path just makes the most sense. If you're going to trade both first-round picks, like, really do it and see if you can do Russ plus 2 first. What does that get you? I don't love path 2. Trade some combination of like Beverly and Nunn and maybe a first. That's half-assed. And I don't know who you're going. If you have to give up a first-round pick to get anyone, if it's just them and seconds, yeah, sure. That's half-assed, but you're not giving up any really like glamorous equity there. But if you have to attach 1 first, I'd rather see what I could get for both, just because like, what are you doing at that point? With all this said, though, I came up with trade ideas, one of which was at least a refinement of previous talks that we know they've had, for all of these scenarios that I'm going to go through. So I have one trade idea for each one. I'll throw it up on the screen for any YouTube watchers. We'll go with path number 1, the star route. That is, it's with the Pacers. Surprise. So in this deal, I have the Lakers getting O'Shea Brissett, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, Cleveland's 2023 first-round pick. It's lottery protected and then turns into 2 seconds if not conveyed. And then the Pacers get Damian Jones, Russ, Chicago's 2023 second, which, that could be in the 30s. And then the Lakers 2027 and 29 first-round picks unprotected. This was not a trade. I think both sides were kind of just like Lakers fans were not amused by this. They don't think that you give up 2 first-round picks to get a player who plays Anthony Davis's best, albeit his least preferred position. At the same time, Turner is the closest acquisition to a star the Lakers can reasonably chase without almost assuredly getting outbid by other teams. They can dangle swaps in 26 and 28 on top of 27 and 29, those unprotected first. And it is a lot. But other teams will offer more if it's a name like Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine. Maybe that package gets you into a theoretical Beal sweepstakes, since he has a no trade clause and can very much control where he goes. But neither he nor the Washington Wizards have given any indication that they wish to dissolve the marriage once he's eligible to be traded on January 15th. That's what you would be waiting for, by the way. I do think a Jimmy Butler trade demand could be interesting for the Lakers. He's 33, 3 seasons left on his deal, $146.4 million. That final year is a 52.4 player option. Both are prohibitive numbers if you're prospective suitors. And yet, while I think the Lakers would gladly go all in for that, another team might still come over the top and beat their best offer of an expiring contract, 2 swaps, and 2 unprotected firsts. I also just feel like that ventures too far in the land of make-believe. I don't think that Jimmy Butler wants to leave Miami right now. There's also the Kyrie Irving trade scenarios. They loom, but the Nets are back above 500, and moving Kyrie risks alienating Kevin Durant, who is, 1, absolutely annihilating opponents on offense, and 2, already requested a trade once himself. That's why I settled on Turner. He's having his own monster season. His scoring has never looked spiffier. Post-ups haven't accounted for such a high share of his offensive touches since he was a rookie and that was in 2015, 2016. His 1.21 points per post-up possession, by the way, that's tied for Brook Lopez for the most among every player who has used as many post-ups as Miles Turner. Turner's also downing almost 38% of his triples on, it's like okay volume, a little under 5 attempts per 36 minutes. And we've seen him just drop in some nice running layups or tough looks off drives. He, by the way, just continues to ruin lives around the basket. This is the third consecutive season in which he's averaged more than 3 blocks per 36 minutes. And he ranks tied for third in total shots contested at the rim, even though he doesn't even rank in the top 150 of minutes played. Figuring out how the Lakers hash out this deal, though, is incited so much back and forth. Why would the Lakers give up their 2 best trade chips for someone entering free agency who, like I said, plays Anthony Davis's best position? I do think the offensive fit would be rather seamless thanks to Turner's three-point shooting. And if you're getting rid of Russ in the process, you are opening up Miles Turner-centric touches inside the offense, if that's going to be an issue for him. Surrendering both first to me is still a tough pill to swallow. The Lakers have to pay Turner this summer, and that's assuming he wants to stick around. And though Hield's functional shooting is a breath of fresh air for one of the clumpiest offenses in the league, his $19.3 million salary next season makes it harder for LA to operate as a meaningful cap space team in free agency this summer. At the same time, waiting for the Pacers to drop their asking price to 1 first-round pick just doesn't make sense. It gets easier for them to swallow Russell Westbrook's salary now that we're so late into the season. But that number, $47.1 million, is so gargantuan. It hamstrings their ability to do anything other than waive him or broker a buyout. They should absolutely assess an opportunity cost tax, even though he's a temporary cap hit. That's why I expanded the deal. So send O'Shea Brissett and the Cavs first to Los Angeles. For the Pacers, they might push back on that. But that Cleveland first, if it conveys, is going to be in the 20s. And Brissett's playing time has waxed and waned with this team. The Pacers should prefer, to me, the chance to short the Lakers' long-term future over keeping a low-end first and a player on an expiring contract who's just not going to be part of your team long-term. I get that this takes a special kind of vision. Crown jewels in a trade typically aren't picks that don't convey for 5 and 7 drafts. But the Pacers aren't drowning in extra first-rounders after the season. They have Boston's and Cleveland's plus their own in 23, and that's it. This is a chance to deepen that asset chest. And the Lakers first could be gems that the Pacers draft and develop, or highly coveted trade assets they reroute down the line when they're really good. Forking over Cleveland's first, to me, is also a negligible add-on when Indy has that Boston pick. Can you include the Boston pick instead of Cleveland's? There's a difference between number 30 and number 22 to me. And so if I'm the Lakers, I'm pushing for Cleveland. Also, by trading Turner and Hield and even Brissett, you're juicing up the value of your own draft pick this season, which I do think is important because you're still in for as good as you are, or as, I do think that their offense is more real than not. This is a team that I think will pull back a little bit, especially when you look at their point differential, but like you still should be in young talent acquisition mode. I know Turner isn't ancient, but is paying his next contract, assuming he wants to stay, which is the other element of all this. What if he doesn't want to stay in Indiana, no matter how much you offer? That's a possibility given how much he's been in trade rumors. People pointed out to me that this is not how the Pacers operate. This is the closest they've come to operating like that, though. We saw them sort of lean into the tank or bottoming out last year with the Sabonis trade. I know they were playing Tyrese Halliburton up until the end, but like they were still pretty bad and they embraced it. So you do this if you're the Pacers. To me, you're not giving up any long-term assets, and if you're the Lakers, you probably want more of a surefire all-star, but you get at least another first-round pick that you can reroute later or maybe draft this summer. And then Brissett has quietly nailed 41.4% of his threes since mid-November, and he maintains positional flexibility on defense, which is something they really need on the perimeter. Let's go to path 2 here. So path 2 is the none, Beverly, and 1 first-round pick route. It's my least favorite route, but I have a deal for it because that's the rules. This one is the Lakers get Jakob Poeltl and Josh Richardson. The Spurs get Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, Chicago's 2023 second, and then the Lakers' 2027 first-round pick. Some Spurs fans will no doubt insist Poeltl is worth more than a singular first. That's a tough case to make. If we're talking about 2 lower-end firsts, perhaps, but an unprotected pick, a half-decade-ish out, not so much. And also, San Antonio isn't absorbing Westbrook as part of this package. That matters. Teams are supposed to charge for that service. The Spurs are evading it altogether. None in Beverly, by the way, that's not players the Spurs will be interested in. They can be rerouted or eventually, if not immediately, become buyout candidates. Poeltl's overall value is further complicated by his functional limitations and upcoming free agency. He is a crafty decision maker near the elbows, great screen center, and savvy rim protector who's overstretched when he's been healthy within the context of San Antonio's like weird defense this year. It has not been good. He's also a crunch time liability because of his free throw shooting, and his entry into free agency this summer renders him a flight risk. He's suffering from a quad injury right now. I don't know if that impacts his value either. The Lakers aren't going to value him anywhere near as much as Turner, and that's what they should do. His offensive fit next to AD isn't as squeaky clean, and he's unlikely to be part of the Lakers' go-to closing units. Still, the things he does well will help, especially given that Damian Jones and Thomas Bryant have failed to make an impact. Richardson is mission-critical wing depth. He can be matched up defensively with everyone from guards to power wings, and he subsists basically on catch-and-shoot threes at this point, which he's downing at a 40% clip. Traveling this path overall, though, feels half-baked. Like I said, it allows the Lakers to straddle two lines in theory, but it's also a vote of half confidence in practice. If that's what they want, then so be it. This trade makes them better, doesn't entirely bankrupt their first-round pick stores, and preserves their capacity to dredge up $30+ million in cap space over the summer because both Richardson and Pirtle are expiring contracts. Would I do it if I'm the Lakers? This is not the trade I would actively pursue, but there are worse deals to make. But the fact that Russ would still be sitting on this roster afterwards, you probably really can't play him and Pirtle together. And you certainly can't play him, Pirtle, and AD together at the same time. Now we get, though, to the exciting one. That's the path 3, the multi-deal route, which I squished into one trade, but there's 3 teams here. So let's go through it. The Lakers receive Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, and Kelly Olynyk. The Pistons get Patrick Beverley, Rudy Gay, the Lakers' 2029 first-round pick. The Jazz get Damian Jones, Kendrick Nunn, Russell Westbrook, Chicago's 23 second, a 2026 first-round swap from the Lakers, and then an unprotected 2027 pick. The Jazz in this scenario, so you're sending out, if you're Utah, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Kelly Olynyk, Rudy Gay. So you're sending out those 4 players, and you're getting back 3 expiring contracts, Chicago's 2023 second, the swap for the Lakers in 2026, which is far enough away that they might use it, and then that Lakers unprotected pick. So you're trading those 4 players that I just outlined for the Lakers first-round pick in 27, that swap, and Chicago's 2023 second rounder. Like that's the value you're getting is those 3 assets. The other value you are getting, though, is you're escaping the final year of Rudy Gay's contract. He has a player option. And then Mike Conley, he's been good this year, but he has that huge guarantee. So you're really cleaning up your books by bringing in all these expiring contracts. There's value in that from a flexibility standpoint, even if you don't expect Utah to be free agency players, which you shouldn't. If I'm the Jazz, I do this. The Conley guarantee, it's not bad money, but it's not an asset. And I think if you believe in this team and you just want to stamp hat and see it through, that's one thing. But to add another unprotected first-round pick in the distance to your cachet of first-round picks, that's huge. That's honestly huge. And look, if you want, I'll point this out. If you want the Lakers 2029 first-round pick, Detroit should be amenable there. If I'm Utah, I prefer 27, even though they have picks in both years. They have 2 extra picks in 27 right now and 2 extra picks in 29, I believe. But when you're going out to 2029, that's too long for me, because the Lakers, like, maybe they stumble into a free agent or like a star free agent, because free agency, yes, stars don't leave right now, but maybe they do within the new CBA when the cap spikes up. So you get 2027, where again, you have Cleveland's and Minnesota's first round picks, but those teams especially Cleveland, feel more likely to be good than the Lakers. So I would choose 2027. The question is, are you doing this for the one first round pick? Again, I would, because there's that swap in there. And so if the Lakers are truly bad and you're better than them, you do control 2 of their first round picks. And I don't think giving up Kelly Olynyk, been useful for them this season, will be useful for the Lakers, by the way, but he's not part of your long-term picture. Like, you have Walker Kessler there, Jared Vanderbilt, who Walker Kessler's already taking minutes from. So, like, you don't need Kelly Olynyk, and you're probably not. Maybe you do resign him. I shouldn't say never, but, like, he's not mission critical to your future. Again, Mike Conley, you have Jordan Clarkson, you have Colin Sexton, so you're not light on guards. Malik Beasley is the tough one here. I think this trade comes down to basically, how much do you value Malik Beasley on that team option? So you control him through next season if you want. He's shooting like 40, almost over 39% from 3 on 8 attempts per game. There's a ton of value in that.
But I would prefer, if I'm the Jazz, like this is not a tank move. I want to make that clear. Like, yeah, you're leaning further into the rebuild, but I want those control those two Lakers picks. And then you are probably juicing up the value of your own pick this year. So, and again, you're getting off the Rudy Gay money. But the fact that you're getting out from under Mike Conley's partial but huge guarantee, that's going to give you more flexibility moving forward. Maybe they push for both first. If I'm the Lakers, I leave that on the table. From Detroit's perspective, you have to eat the 1 year of Rudy Gay. That's fine. Patrick Beverley, buy him out, waive him, whatever, reroute him. Done. And just to get an unprotected pick down the line, and you're giving up Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. Now, maybe you're not getting a first for Alec Burks on your own. I want to make that clear. Like, it's just not happening. He's been pretty good, but when he's played, he started the year injured. But you're not getting a first round pick for him. You might get one for Bojan Bogdanovic. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be one that's 7 drafts out, which if you're Troy Weaver, are you thinking that long term? Maybe not, because you might not be the one running the team. And it's hard to sort of justify the crown jewel being this pick that conveys 7 drafts from now. However, that's a massive chip to get for Bojan Bogdanovic, who, yeah, he's useful to you, but with Cade injured and you're not really headed anywhere this season, he's under contract for 1 more year guaranteed after the extension and then another year after that if you want to keep him. So there's value in that for the Lakers, but he's not going to be part of your bigger picture. So to give up Burks, you have to give up Burks and Bogdanovic and then eat 1 year of Rudy Gay at under $7 million to get the Lakers 2029 first round pick. You do that. I don't even think that's a question. If Pistons fans are listening, let me know what you think there. And I hope I'm breaking. I know 3-team trades are complicated, so I'm trying to go through what the teams are giving up. So if you're the Lakers now, you're giving up Russ, Damian Jones, Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverley. So all those players, expiring contracts, gone. I think that's fine. You're giving up the Chicago 2023 second. You're giving up both the first round picks in addition to the swap. So the only thing you have left, like right now, to technically trade would be a 2028 swap, which you could include that to Utah if they prefer that over 2026, by the way. I'm just saying. Are you doing that when you get back? This is the Lakers haul. Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Kelly Olynyk. I would do it. You're not getting a star, but Conley's an expert game manager. You have Malik Beasley, like I said, slinging it from 3 helps out a ton, and you can get some wing minutes from him. Bojan Bogdanovic gives you some one-on-one creation if you need it, but will also, his 3-point shooting is ticked down since the Cade Cunningham injury. Maybe that's related. But it'll come back up. Like, he's going to be teed up from LeBron James and Mike Conley here, who he's already played with, by the way. So there's some familiarity there. Like, you're all of a sudden, like, you have a ton of shooting. Olynyk, Conley, Beasley, Burks, Bogdanovic. Those are 5 above average shooters on a roster that just barely has any right now. The only thing you could argue is, do we have sort of a surplus of that now because Lonnie Walker's on this team, and all of a sudden now we have Malik Beasley and Mike Conley and Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks. You're getting rid of Kendrick Nunn and Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley as part of this. So, like, if there's an unevenness, fine. It's better to have a surplus of shooting and even guys who can create for themselves rather than a deficit of shooting with guys who can create for themselves but not efficiently. So those 5 players for 2, let's just look. The assets are, if you're the Lakers, the 2 firsts, 1 swap for Bogdanovic, Burks, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, and Kelly Olynyk. I'm doing it. And you're punting on cap space next year because Conley has that fat partial guarantee. It checks in at $14.3 million into his age 36 season. You probably just guarantee the full 24.4 at that number and work with it if you want to trade him later. And then Malik Beasley has that team option for, I think he's at like 16. That's 16.5. You probably pick that up. And then Bojan Bogdanovic has another year left on his deal. You can reevaluate then in 2024 free agency when depending on like what happens with the salary cap, you might just have more flexibility anyway. And so I don't think that needs to be a big deal. And these are all players that they'll be on expiring contracts and then you can move down the line. Kelly Olynyk can play next to Anthony Davis. He can also just be your 5. So I understand why you wouldn't do this because you want a star for those 2 picks. And like now you're just playing your best hand. But like this, I think this is my favorite trade for the Lakers. And I don't think I'm fucking over any other team. I saw some Jazz fans in my comments because I wrote about this who don't think it's realistic for Utah. I'm just saying you have to really like, what is the primetime asset you're giving up here? If you're looking at it, we're not getting enough because we're taking on Russell Westbrook. I get it. But at this point, if this trade happens after December 15th, it's like a half season of Russ's salary. And so I guess your value there is, well, we're sending the Lakers 2 players in Conley and Beasley who are under contract for next season that help them. But like Conley's not going to be desirable money. I think he's at like anything a net. I think he's a net negative at that number next season. I'm going to be honest, but maybe a net neutral. And I love Mike Conley. Anyone who listens to the podcast knows how big a fan of his game I am. But like you're still getting off of the Rudy Gay money and you're getting control over 2 of the Lakers first. And like you don't need any imminent first round picks right now. And maybe, and like again, the 2023 Chicago second rounder, that's like sort of nice and nifty. If you weren't getting off of Rudy Gay, if you weren't getting the swap, I get it. But I think it toes the line of just enough. Now, if you want to push for Austin Reeves, like, would the Lakers give him up in this deal? Like, does that do it for you, Jazz fans? I'm honestly asking. I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I hope we don't have commenters on YouTube who just attack and say I don't watch basketball or that I suck. Always happy to have discussions, but I get so frustrated when we put so much effort into this podcast and the YouTube commenters just like trash it by saying we suck and that we should stop or that we don't watch games. I don't know why it bothers me. It shouldn't, but I think because I look at YouTube comments and I want to respond to people. Like I want to people feel like the ones that are watching us consistently, like they're part of a community. So hopefully people at least take this understand. I'm not trying to fuck over the Jazz. I know our Discord members join our Discord, wink, wink. They'll understand where I'm coming from. Maybe it's not enough. You can let me know, but I think this is my favorite deal for the Lakers. I love it for the Pistons. And if I'm the Jazz, look, give them the pick of the litter. They can have a 2028 swap and the 2029 first. Like they can pick one of the swaps, 26 or 28, and then one of the first round picks. And then the other first round pick will go to Detroit. I think that comes pretty close. And if it doesn't, like you can rework the deal, I suppose, to where are you not giving the Lakers Kelly Olynyk? Would you prefer to give him Jared Vanderbilt at this point? Also, the other thing I need to note here is the Lakers luxury tax bill skyrockets as a result of this. If they cheap out, I think the easy thing to do is like you can rework it. So it's basically the same structure, but Alec Burks isn't going to Los Angeles. Does he end up back in Utah? Like that would be something that we would have to maybe look at. He could also just stay in Detroit. Like that structure would work as well. I can rework the deal, and I did, to where Alec Burks is just not a part of it. So if the Lakers want to cheap out, their bill is still going to go up anyway. But this, I think, look, LeBron, AD, Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Kelly Olynyk. Those are 7 really good players right there. You have Austin Reeves, assuming he's not part of this deal, on your roster. That's like all of a sudden a real 8-man rotation. And it's, oh, hey, like we have Lonnie Walker IV is still doing things for us. So like 9 guys, like all of a sudden going 9 good, like above average, let's say 7 to 8 above average NBA players deep. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. And the other note would be if one of the other teams wants Thomas Bryant instead of Damian Jones, then yeah, just like flip them out. They're interchangeable there. So does it make them contenders? Like if LeBron and AD are healthy, like there isn't a team in the West that would scare me against this roster. You can ask whether they're good enough defensively, but like it might not matter with how well AD is played, and you have Austin Reeves. So like you have those two as your baseline defenders. I think Mike Conley at his age is still probably pretty underrated for what he does. Malik Beasley, not like very great. So, like you have defenders you can trust, maybe including LeBron at this point. I would say like there wouldn't be a team. The Nuggets and the Suns and the Pelicans all stick out. The Warriors, like, yeah, those are teams that I might still pick ahead of the Lakers, but this is going in and you're deepening the roster a ton. So let me know what you think about these deals. Until next time, please, remember to subscribe to us. Sub on YouTube if you've made it this far with me. And please, sub Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, would really appreciate it. And I leave you. Join the Discord, by the way, as I'm sort of stammering here. Join the Discord. Grant is in the Discord. Why wouldn't you want to be in the... And he's not like... He's active. Grant is in the Discord and he is saying things. Shout out to Grant for joining Discord, who is just not really on social media, and I love him for it. Like, that's the smart thing to do. I'd probably be so much better for my mental health if I wasn't on social media. Join the Discord, follow our socials at HardwoodKnocks on Twitter and TikTok. Also at HardwoodKnocks on YouTube as well, since they have handles now. And then at Hardwood_Knocks on Instagram. If you have content ideas or something you want to see, we have mailbags set up in Discord along with Hot or Not. You can DM me as well. My Twitter's at Damp Valley. If you have specific content ideas, we're really open to like putting out content that you guys want to hear and consume. And if you do have critiques, if there's stuff that you think we can do better, like I'm very approachable when it comes to criticism, even if I'm going to disagree with some people on it, since I think this podcast is underrated as fuck. It's thermonuclear. It's underratedly thermonuclear as fuck. I need to get a shirt that says thermonuclear AF. I think I need to make that happen. Until next time, I'll leave you to shout out to the one, the only, the answer to all of his team's problems as they're sort of wandering in the wilderness right now. Frank Nila Kina.